Hi everyone, in this video tutorial I'm going to share with you how to create the book card that I had shared in my last video. Thank you all so much for your sweet comments. This time I made the keepsake box, and this one is really fun to make as well. It's pretty much the same concept, and I'll show you at the end of the video how to create this. So for this one I used the same envelopes, but this time again I made it into the keepsake box. As you can see here, I staggered the envelopes so they're not perfectly lined straight, and this is also fun to create. The paper collection that I used is Color Box Victorian Parlour Collection. I used it from this 8x8 paper pad. And so what I did here was I covered the cover, and I add a dress form that's using my AccuCut dress form die, and then I layered all the beautiful trims from the piece by piece, and then this is some white seam binding that I sprayed with the new Lindy Stamp Gangs. It's the Salt Water Taffy. It's a really beautiful pink, and this is from their new Nantucket Pearls set, which is a really gorgeous set. It's a perfect set for all the shabby chic projects. And then here are some Iron Roses flowers. So these two are also sprayed with the saltwater taffy. And then this large one here was sprayed with a really pretty Cape Cod coral. So it's a really gorgeous coral color. And what's great about this set is it has a pearlized shimmer to it. And the colors are just absolutely gorgeous. And then these leaves I also sprayed from the set, the Seagrass Green, and I sprinkled, while the leaves were still wet, I sprinkled some of this glitter on top. You can see here. And these mini roses here I sprayed with the Clam Bake Beige. So this is a really, again, it's just a really gorgeous set. And then the other color, which I didn't use in this project, is the Whale Watch Blue, which is a really pretty color. And this set actually was designed by Arlene, and it's just a really nice combination, again, that goes with the shabby chic projects. And then here I used some glossy accents to cover the Once in a Lifetime. And then I distressed all the edges, as you can see, with my distressing tool, and then distressed it with the brush corduroy. And then when you open it up, it's the dress form. And then here I'm going to put the sentiment on this side, and then inside, as you can see, I add the design paper as well. And then I also distress the edges with the distressing tool and the brush corduroy. And then on the back I covered it with the same design paper. So really easy to put together. So let me show you how to make this. This was the other one that I showed in my video. So this one is more of a book. As you can see, the envelopes are within, lined together. Okay, so let me show you how quick this is to make. So basically what you're going to need is your envelopes, and here I'm using the same envelopes here, and again these were from Michael's in the $1.50 bin. And again I bought them because they were craft card, craft envelopes. And this is just some chipboard. For the one that I used on that project, that actually was cardboard. I apologize, I said corrugated board, but it's cardboard, but inside it's corrugated. So if you want to have that corrugated look to your box, then you would want to use cardboard. Now you can use any old packaging, any old boxes, or you can use Capri Sun boxes. I've used those in my mini albums before. So if you want to recycle, you can use those. But you can also use chipboard as well. And this is a medium weight chipboard. So what you're going to do first is I cover all my envelopes first with the cardboard or the chipboard. So I don't make it, as you can see, it's not the same exact size as the envelope. And the reason why I do that is because I want to crinkle the edges of the envelope to give it that distressed look. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and put this in. But before I do that, I just add glue to the sides so they stick to the envelope, because the image is going to be cut in the center. I just put a little bit, and I just use my Elmer's Glue Wall multi-purpose glue. I love this glue. And I just, you know, add a little bit, like so. And then you just place it inside the envelope. And then I just kind of center it. I actually line this with the end of this envelope part right here, or the top part, like that. And then I just add a little glue to this. You can use sticky tape, any type of adhesive, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, so I do that to all 10, well actually I use only 8, so all 8 pages. Okay, so you're going to need 2, 1 for the cover, 1 for the bottom, and then 6 for the inside pages. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm just going to pretty much just show you. So you're going to repeat this step to all 8 or 10 pages, depending on how many you want. And then we're going to do another one here, because this one we're going to cut. So I'm going to add, again, the glue, the sides here. Okay, and then I'm going to put these aside for now. Okay, so now what you want to do is, when you're using a die, of course you're going to have to use a die that just has one image on the die. For example, the Eiffel Tower, it's just the Eiffel Tower on this die. When there's multiple images, it's hard to cut, obviously, because it's going to cut those images as well. So I use this one in particular because, one, I wanted the Paris theme, but then also I had to get an image that fit these envelopes. So you can use any size envelope, you know, totally up to you. And you know, like I mentioned in the other video, you can even create your own. So I'm just going to take my Cuttlebug here, and I'm going to show you how I cut this. Now, as you can see here on the die, there's 2 marks here, and that's just using a regular white gel pen. Okay, what I did was I basically just took the envelope first and I placed it above the image just slightly, just so I could make sure that the image is lined within the envelope. I'm okay if it's not exactly lined in the envelope, but as much as I can get in the center as possible. Okay, so once I do that, I basically just take my gel pen, okay, and then I just mark the sides like I did here. Okay, and then as far as lining the envelope to get it in the center, all I do is just eyeball it. So I'm just going to take, as you can see, the die, and then I'm going to line the envelope in those 2 white marks, and then just eyeball it basically, and see that it's somewhat the same measurements on the ends here. I'm looking at these corners here to see the spaces, and that looks good. Again, you know, I'm okay with it not being exactly in the center. Okay, so that's how I do it. Okay, but this one I'm going to do it with the chipboard inside. So let's do that again. And oops, make sure I'm in frame here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to get my plates here. Excuse my plates, they're well loved, as you can see. So let's go ahead and cut here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Okay, so let me just set this aside. Okay, now you can see here, this is going to come out, and you could save the Eiffel Towers if you want. I used it on my cover, so that would you would take the chipboard part for. Okay, so save that, and then you got your image. Okay, and you can see that it's only glued on the ends where I add the glue. So all I do is I go back with my glue and I just add some glue right here, just where it's not closed all the way. I just add a tiny bit to keep it sealed. I mean, it's not going anywhere once they're layered on top of one another, but I just want to make sure. That one's okay. Over there. Okay, so that looks good. And this is what I mean about not covering the entire envelope with the chipboard, because I like to just crunch the edges a little bit, like that. Like how she had done in her video. Okay, so do that. And then I take my Distress ink and I just distress the edges to give it that distressed look. You don't have to distress your edges if you don't want to, because the kraft envelopes already give that vintage look to it. But if you want it more distressed, you could do that. And then I just do the back. Same thing. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now we're going to do another one because I'm going to show you how I layer them. And then you're just going to, again, repeat the same steps for the remaining envelopes. Okay, so let me get back my cuddle bug here. And I put my plate. And I'm just going to line my envelope here. And if you want to do the keepsake box, like I did with the other one, you can stagger the envelopes like that. So when you place them on top of one another, you will line the image together, but the envelopes will be staggered. So that's how you would do that one. But because we're doing the book, I'm going to make it straight. Okay. Take this out. Okay, again we're going to crumple it a little bit. But let me glue some parts first. And this would look really pretty with a flower, butterfly. You can even do Tim Holtz's birdcage die. That one might be a little tricky, only because the bird's also on the die. So that's that. Okay, and then let me just distress my edge a little bit here. Okay, now to layer it on top of one another, all I do is I take my glue and I don't cover the entire part, only just the edge of the Eiffel Tower. Because if you cover the whole thing, you'll see the glue on the sides, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so you're just going to make an outline of the Eiffel Tower, and then you're just going to take it together and layer it right on top of one another, like so, and just press it down. Or you could put like a book on top of it or something heavy. I just press it down. Okay, and there you have it. And then once you stack them all, they'll all, you know, come out like this. They'll all be stacked like this. Okay. Okay, so now to make the cover and the back is going to be obviously the solid piece. You would just do the bottom, do the same, repeat the same gluing steps that I did, and then just glue it on top. And that's what creates the bottom part of the book. Okay? But to create the top part of the book, what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the envelopes and you're going to open up this flap like this, and then you're going to cover it with design paper. Okay? You would have to adhere your design paper first, but you're only going to glue the edges, okay, because you're going to cut this inside part. So it's just, go ahead and glue it like this. So you're just going to do that, okay? And then you're going to lay your design paper on top, and you can tell when it's perfectly lined if you put that flap down. And you just go like this. Or you can pre-cut, it's up to you. I just do it this way. And then I just cut it. Okay, so it looks like that. And then we're going to take our die again. My plate here. Okay, and then we're just going to line it within the lines here. So, I'm going to just kind of eyeball it. And I scoot my die all the way to the right because my envelope flap might get in the way. Okay, so we've got that. So now it looks like this. Okay? And then all you're going to do is glue it on top. So again, we're going to do that same gluing, just the outline of the Eiffel Tower. And just line it like so. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Okay, and now we're gonna just pretend this is, you know, the cover, but it has a board inside. And let me just go ahead and seal that. You don't have to put a board inside the cover if you don't want to, but I like it to make it a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add adhesive to this. Okay, and for the flap I actually use sticky strip. And then we're going to take this part of the envelope and just match it together. I just line the two flaps together. Okay, like so. Looks like that. Okay. And then you're just going to take some more design paper and I'm going to cover this side. So I'm just going to take some glue here. I'm not making it really perfect here. This is just for sample. Okay. Now I'm going to cut that. Again, you can, you know, pre-cut if you want to. It's up to you. Okay, So now you got your inside, and then you're going to add design paper to the cover. And then I also add it to, you know, the bottom piece, so it looks like that. Okay, so that's how you create it. Really fun. Again, this is the book, and then this is the keepsake box. So it's the same concept, except again, if you're going to do the box, you're just going to stagger the envelopes when laying it on the die. Okay, so I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, leave a comment, and thanks everyone for watching. Bye.